No game here. Just all face. All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Connect with Carrie here on Saturday, the first Saturday of May. Are we first Saturday of May? Second Saturday. No, first Saturday of May. Look at that. Half the year is almost gone, just like that. So welcome, everyone, to the show. Last week, I did not air a show, but I was there last week. And you guys have been phenomenal. This is my season 4 of the show. And I just have to say thank you to everyone who does tune in weekly to the shows. Usually, you know, we've been getting somewhere over 90,000 to my last show was 106,000, I believe. And then, of course, my connected culture connection on Tuesday nights with Big Wall last week. We had, or not last week, the week before. I keep thinking because last week was Easter, you know, like, or 2 weeks ago was like Easter, so we missed shows. But anyway, we had about 500,000 tune in to our virtual concert that night. So it was amazing. So everyone, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then, of course, a quick happy Mother's Day to all the wonderful mothers out there for tomorrow. So there's our May catch-up. Welcome to the show, Rhyme Schemes.
Yes, how you doing? You know, it's rhyme schemes. You know, I got to be difficult and put, you know, spell it all in German and stuff like that. But it's rhyme schemes, and pretty much the name tells who I am. You know,
But just schemy rhymes. That's all.
It could be, yeah, scheming and rhymes.
Well, thank you for joining us. He's all the way from LA tonight. So you guys are probably having some incredible weather. We are having a bit of rain here in Calgary. It hasn't been too bad the past couple days. It's actually been kind of nice, a little bit of rainy and whatever. Not like LA. LA, you guys get like hot sun all the time, and then sometimes you'll get rain, but it's not that often.
Rain is like a commodity over here. It's like, you remember the song, It Never Rains in Southern California? That's true. You know, I never see rain, and I get mad at it. Like, why is it raining?
This little cloud that just floats along, and then all of a sudden it's like, I want to rain. No, I'll keep moving along, right?
Yeah, just go to Mexico.
That is so funny. I have to say, thank you for being on the show this evening. I know you are a very, very busy artist, and I know that you have been very busy getting like I think you have a new album coming out. You've got some new releases that have just been out. You've been all over the map. So I know like you're very, very busy. So thank you for being on the show this evening here as well on Jess TV, Jess FM. I just have to say thank you first, because it's very important to, you know, for my guests to understand that I know what it's like when you're very busy, and you're going to be traveling soon as well. So it's like almost impossible to hold you down.
Thank you as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so I really do appreciate all your time and energy for being here, first of all. So I just have to quickly clear that up. Now, going back to your name, Rhyme Schemes. I was going to say Ream again. Rhyme Schemes. How did you come up with that? And when did you come up with that?
So, you know, the funny thing about it was spelled properly before. It was spelled rhyme, how you spell rhyme, R-H-Y-M-E. And, you know, I wanted to be a little bit different. So rhyme schemes came from a long time ago when I first started doing music. And the way I used to put my music together, it was technical, like the A-B format, like how you write a poem, a rhyme scheme. And so I started rapping and stuff like that when I was in the military, actually. It was crazy. I started rapping, and I was in the military. I spent about 16 months in Iraq. And the guy, it was, you know, you get people from all walks of life in the military. You know, you got people from Texas and, you know, Chicago, New York, all these different places. And these guys are like super talented. And they would just get me to like rhyme. And I'm like, you know, I was their sergeant. And they was like, come on, hit us with the rhyme schemes. Come on, hit the rhyme. And then I started rapping with them. And that's eventually how I got the name Rhyme Schemes. And then later on, you know, I started traveling internationally doing music and stuff like that. To give a quick synopsis, that's how I changed the name to Rhyme Schemes, which is kind of like the German form of like rhyme. And I just added my little E on the end of the rhyme, and that's how you got the Rhyme Schemes name. Yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Wow, you were in the military. How long were you in the military for?
6 years. Yeah.
6 years. Well, I'm not from the States, but thank you for your service anyway. I do appreciate that because I know depending on your circumstances down there, you can be in the line of fire within a heartbeat. So thank you for putting your life on the line. That's just incredible. What was it like? You must have, like, that must be such an experience.
I've always been an adventurous person. So, the funny thing about it is I wanted to go to the military straight out of like grade 12. And what happened was my mom was like, no, you're not going to the military. You're not going. You're going to university. So I went to university and I played sports. I was a track runner, got a track scholarship to play run track. And then after I graduated university, I'm sitting here with a whole university. I'm sitting there, at a job I was working. And just one day I said, I'm going to join the military. And I just like quit my job, and I ended up in Iraq like six months later, and that was the start. That was the start of everything. It was the start of me doing music. That was the start of me, just developing as a person internationally, and just actually put my feet on the ground in different lands. And I think that was the start of like who I be really when I really involved as a person. Mm-hmm. That was probably the best crazy decision I ever made in my life, because it takes me all the way to where I'm at today, and it's like a yin and a yang full circle. So It's funny that we bring that up, because that's kind of like the pivotal point of my life and who I am.
Yeah, well, you have to get down to the nitty gritty of who an artist really is, because it's not, yeah, you make music and that's part of who you are, but there's always the reason why someone started making music, or maybe it was in their family, or just there's, like you said, the pivotal moment of when someone starts their career. That moment of just like, I really want to do this, and I really have a heart for this, and the passion and the drive, but it's always got to start somewhere. So this is why, like, I take these shows, and it's not like your regular radio interviews. Like, I like to dig in a little bit deeper and be like, who are you as a person? Who is the face behind the music, right? Because it's just like, your average business. Well, who's the business? And okay, well, let's just use McDonald's, for example. Okay, well, we all know the Golden Arches, but who started it? Like, who is the actual face behind it, right? You don't know the whole entire story unless you go and you dig it up, right? So that takes time to go and do that. But here, this is one thing I love to just find out, like, who are you? Why did you bring up music, or how did you get involved, and what, the whole story behind it, because it's not often that you hear about it. Like, we'll see your videos posted up on Facebook or your Instagram feed, but you only kind of tell that little bit of a story through your feed and everything, but you're not going to really hear who you are, right? Yeah. And so anyone who's watching or listening, I think they're going to have those points in their lives, and they're going to go, hey, I remember I was in the military, or I was in this certain career, and I decided to change my career because something happened, right? And to be able to be in high school and just be like, okay, I want to join the military, that is a huge step. Like, that is just like, taking the grenade and just throwing it out there and be like, okay, wherever it lands, let's just go.
I got a funny story about grenades too. I remember when they first showed us how to, perfect segue, when they was teaching us how to throw the grenades. And I remember, like, the whole time we were in basic training, we had our cups like this. We had to hold them like this every time we walked to the mess hall. And I didn't realize it was like wax on, wax off. So when we got to the grenade training, this is how you hold a grenade, like just like this. And it was funny because the sergeant was like, hey, he's like, hold it, now throw it in the air. And he's like, hold it. I was like, no, I threw it so fast. I was like, this thing gonna blow up in my hand. So I was like, I threw it so fast and ducked down. But it was just so funny how you say that, because that was probably one of the craziest moments ever, like throwing a grenade for the first time. Knowing it's live, it can blow me up, and realizing the Daniel Son wax on, wax off moment, it was just cool.
So you're holding the pin down on a grenade. From the time you release it, how much time do you have? Is it 10 seconds or 30 seconds?
Oh, not 30 seconds.
No?
Definitely more than 30 seconds. I mean, less than 30 seconds, like about 10, it's like 7 to 10 seconds. Yeah. You got to throw that bad baby.
So, like, you could have been dead a million times over.
Yeah, basically. Yeah,
This is what it
definitely.
took for you to be here today.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I got some stories. I have this thing. We'll be talking all night. I got some stories for you. I got like an autobiography about
Right?
that.
That is insane. I just, the thing is when you watch movies, like, of course, here in Canada, we have like, the RCMP, but it's not that highly huge training that the military has down in the States, right? Like, there's levels of it, but it's not like you guys are just thrown into like the deep end and you have to learn how to swim like within boot camp within the first 6 months or whatever, right? For us,
Yeah.
it's like this long term kind of training that I don't think we ever see grenades.
Oh.
Quite honestly, I think it's more horses than anything, but I don't know. But this is the thing, like, putting yourself in that situation, you have all that pressure, and it's like you have to perform under pressure really quickly when you're in the military. So from performing in the military to performing on stage, what has been more frightening to you?
You know what? To be honest with you, the music. The music part, performing on stage. I mean, right now, years in, it's second nature now. It's nothing to me. But like in the beginning, I used to be. It was almost like stage fright. You remember like 8 Mile, the movie 8 Mile, Eminem, when he
Yeah.
first ran in the washroom and just started throwing up. Like that's the kind of nerves you get performing. I remember because it's like you love your music. It's so close, endearing, and endearing to you. And
Yeah.
so like you want to make sure that everyone likes it because you love it. And it's like someone telling you, "Oh, your kid is not cute," and you're like, "Oh, this is my precious baby," and it's like them telling you, like, "No, that baby's not cute." That would hurt your heart. So it's like getting on stage and they boo you, they don't react to you. That's the nerves that you get as as an artist. You
Yeah.
know, I remember, I don't drink alcohol now, but like years ago when I first started, I used to have a drink to make myself get drunk so I can like not
Mhm.
know what's going on. And then
Mhm.
I used to hope like the sound system was bad so they could understand what I was saying. So they just had to give me a pity. Like, you know,
That's
that,
horrible.
this is in the beginning. This is definitely in the beginning. No one knew this stuff like that. I mean, I still rose to the occasion and I still like, put on good shows in the beginning.
Yeah.
But these are the thoughts that go through your head, as an artist when you first start off. And
Mhm.
when the military, I had a team with me.
Yeah.
I had this confidence instilled in me where I was able to make things happen. I was in charge, and it was just like that type of mentality, organization, discipline. That was a little bit different. But the music is just free fall, and it depends on other people's opinion, opposed to
Mhm.
like people are being led by me with the same strategies that they've been trained with. So that's the only difference, the pressure. But the pressure still is there. But I think the music is a lot different when you first starting off performing,
Yeah.
for sure.
That's incredible. I just, it's interesting to see where people's fears are. And a lot of people do have like that stage fright. But then some people are like, oh, it's amazing. They love just the rush of the crowd and they love just, people chanting or singing along with their music or things like that. So it's, kind of neat to see where you fall in that because you said, you're a sergeant or you were a sergeant in the military. And you would think with that confidence that it wouldn't even be an issue to be able to go and perform on a stage, but there you have it. And it can happen anytime. You
Yeah,
can never be prepared too much, right?
it was crazy. I remember my biggest show I did. It was with an African artist here in LA, like a stadium, and it was crazy. I had a game plan together. I had
Yeah.
like my dancers ready. I had all my songs. As soon as they opened that curtain up and I seen all those people,
Yeah.
like I was pretty much jumping 5 feet off the ground, pretty much at that point. Because
Wow.
the nerves is there, and that crowd gives you that. It just changes up things, and it gives you that extra energy and stuff like that. And that's yeah, it's a rush, like a roller coaster ride.
Yeah. Do you have a team with your, as being an artist? Do you have a team that can help you along your journey or have you been doing a lot of stuff on your own?
The beauty about being educated and going to university and things like that, I'm able to incorporate that in my music. So I understand about marketing, target marketing, how to run marketing, how to manage things. So like a lot of my stuff I do is more freelance and contracted, so
Okay.
technically I kind of do have a team. You just kind of like you just hire people for certain ventures and stuff you have going on.
Yeah.
Pretty much I organize and manage everything myself. So I operate it like a business. I have my label DRS Entertainment, and I definitely like, as far as the music distribution to like setting up graphic arts to setting up like everything. It's just all through me. And then if I need dancers, I'll network with the dancers. If I need producers or I need like engineers or I need recording studios, everything is just organized with me. And I always tell artists, you gotta set up a plan. It always has to be a plan from A to Z. You can't just be like, all right, I'm gonna put this song out, hopefully, and just put the song out and just duck like like a grenade, right? Like, no, you gotta because with today's world, so many artists trying to do things. It's so easy to record music. So you have to have a plan. You have to have a plan. You have to have a goal. And you gotta put plan markers in place in order to achieve these goals along the way.
Yeah.
And contingencies if this goal doesn't work. So it's the same way life or business is like with the music. I'll drop a song. I've already in my head, I know where I'm going to put the song at. I know what platform I'm going to target the most. I know what countries I'm going to target the most. Who should I interview with? Which blogger should I go to? What shows should I go to? What TV networks I should present it to? Like I already got to brainstorm out before I actually, do it. And if you look at my phone, I have my planner. It's like dates, organized. All right, what's the budget? This and this and that. So that's kind of how I operate. Very, very meticulous.
Which is good because I don't think enough artists are business minded about it because it is a business. Like you said, you need to have everything planned out, especially it's just like your goals. Where do you want to begin with your music? Where do you want to end up? Because you need to plan all those strategies along the way. Like you said, even just a simple interview here and there, which I would have to say thank you for choosing me. I'm very, very honored. That's incredible. I get to be in your plan. So that's super cool. And then we'll go into like the other plan of coming to Calgary, that's so cool because we'll get into that in a minute. But yeah, just that whole business mindset of it, because enough artists they're out there going, okay, well, if I throw a song on Spotify, I should do really good. Or if I just use SoundCloud, or if I just, whatever, but you need to have those stepping stones of like, okay, start here and work your way up to here and here. What has been probably the hardest thing up to date to manage yourself?
It's just you see when you manage yourself, you have to deal with the ins and outs of the business. So like the good, the bad, the ugly of the business. So if let's say you hire someone, like say you hire a radio person to put you in rotation, and let's say they're in, I don't know, Germany, you have to like figure out, you have to follow up on reports and make sure your song is being played as agreed upon. So you have to do that, and you have to manage that type of part. That's the most difficult part because you have to make sure. Because you can't just be like a label. A label does it all for you. And they track it for you. You just be the artist. You do the work. You show up here. You show up there. And they tell you what to do. As an independent person running it yourself, I have to follow up these people. So let's say, imagine I'm like, I'm trying to be on 40 different radio stations. I'm following up. I have to get reports. I have to make sure I keep my spreadsheet to say, hey, are these people playing this? Because I need to know. Because if these markets, I need to put more advertising towards to possibly create a show or a tour later on. Yeah. I need to have that information, that data. And so that's the hardest part, just, making sure that you can like get people you can trust that's going to do the business proper and always have to follow up. So that's the music is the easiest part. I can go knock off 12 songs right now. It doesn't even matter. It's like, okay, this person, are they playing my song? Are they really playing my song? I can't sit here on the radio all day and just wait for it to play, so I have to have reports and data and so it can help me initiate my plan or continue my plan.
Yeah. That is very interesting to hear because I have not even heard one single artist say that. You are the first one on almost 2 years that I've been doing this. And that is so important. Like you can just, you can be like, okay, I want a 30-second slot here and there or just be on rotation. But how many people do actually really follow up and make sure that they're being played? Now, when you send me your bio, there was something like 10 stations or something that's playing your music, right?
Yeah, and that's a little outdated, but yeah, it's a little bit. It's a lot more than that right now. From like my music has grown a lot, internationally, especially in Africa with the 54 countries. I'm played in probably like 20 countries in Africa.
Wow.
Germany, Australia, all through the states,
Yeah.
um, even in Mexico and South America. I'm still so it's imagine having to keep up with all that. But like so we talk about Africa. Let's say they're 12 hours ahead or so, and it's like they like texting me at like 1 in the morning, and I'm like, your song is playing, bro, or you got an interview on TV at 3 a.m. your time, and I'm just like waking up, looking crazy on the interview on the TV, like eyes swollen. But you have to,
It's
you
all
have to
part of
do
the game, right?
it. Yeah.
It's how it is. I know I've interviewed people like in France too, and it's just like they're the same thing. And I always feel so bad because my time slots are fixed, right, on the station. So like my underground radio C platform, I can kind of do it whenever I want over there. But this show and my other show on Tuesday nights are fixed time slots. So it's like I'm hoping and praying that my artists can make it on for those slots. And I'm like, I'm so sorry you have to be up at like 2 a.m. to do a show, but that's what you have to put into it. Like if you're really serious about your music, then you're going to put that time in, which, a lot of artists have to understand, and that's not even just artists, it's an everyday business too. Like whatever you put in, you're going to get out of it for sure. For those that are kind of tuning in and listening right now, do you want to kind of describe your music style? I know we haven't touched upon exactly what you do for music style, and then that way they can understand why you're talking about Jamaica, and we'll kind of get into that.
Yeah, I'm Rhyme Schemes. I started off as a hip hop artist, actually a freestyler hip hop artist. I kind of told a story about the military.
Right.
And I started off, and I worked with a lot of people, from Keith Murray, old school 90 rappers, to the Loonies, Tupac's brother, Mopreme Shakur, the Dog Pound. I've been on tour with a lot of West Coast artists, and I started off doing that type of music. I worked with the Fat Joe's Terror Squad, to many, many more people. And I started off as a hip hop artist, just doing straight hip hop, kind of semi gangster rap. And through the years, through my travels, I started to change my music to fusion music. I mix anywhere from Spanish in my music to Swahili in my music. And so it has an Afro fusion pop where I would do a song 1 minute, you hear me rapping in Swahili, and the next minute you would hear me rapping in Spanish. And it is just, I love that, having that international mind state. So yeah. I consider myself a vessel of the world. I definitely try to understand different cultures. I try to put, when I go to a different country, I try to live as the local. I don't want to come as like, oh, this American guy, or this Afro-Caribbean guy. He's coming. I'm not coming over here looking for American food. I'm going over to Wales, and I'm looking for what they have. Or I'm going to
indulge in the culture when you're there.
Yeah. I'm looking for that. I want to learn.
Yeah, that is so cool. Okay, sorry, continue.
Yeah, and so like I incorporate a lot of that stuff in my music. Like I had a friend I was just talking to about 2 weeks ago in France, and I was in Amsterdam doing a show, and he said, hey man, come over to France. So I just took the little hour flight over to France. He and I put together like a couple of songs. Like I did a couple shows there, and it was just 7 years later, we're still talking about this experience. Just being able to go there, and I got a story about being in France too. Like I had it was funny because I'm going to one of the stores, and I'm acting like I know French, right? Like the lady looks like me, we're the same color, we look alike. So I'm like, okay, I'm act like I know French. So she's like talking to me, and I said, I'm thinking to myself, where's your razors at? I think I learned how to say where's your razors at, because I wanted to shave.
Yeah.
And she gave me the wrong razor, right? So when I got back to the hotel, I shaved my whole beard off. And I had to be on like a French TV station later on that day. And like I got there and I looked so crazy. It was like no beard, no nothing. And I was like, like gave the Home Alone face. And it was crazy because it was like, and that's the story I remember to this day, or Amsterdam, like, when you're in Amsterdam, you partake in what they have in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
I remember one of my friends and I, we got stuck in a park for like 3 hours, just walking in circles.
Oh no.
Looking for the hotel that we were staying in. And it was just like, we passed the hotel 50 times, and we finally looked, oh, maybe there's a gas station right there with a green neon sign. Maybe that's the gas station. Let's go ask them about the hotel. We get there, that's the hotel. So these are little stories I have from like traveling that I incorporate in my music, allow me to have that international flavor, because I can actually tell you real stories. When I say this stuff, it's kind of like stuff that really happened throughout my music.
Yeah. Which have you used any of those stories in your music?
Some I have, yeah. Some I definitely have. Well, I use bits and pieces for experience. Like if you like the most recent song I released was called Showtime.
Yeah.
It's like certain things I say that if the person that may have said it about, they understand exactly what I'm talking about. Just certain little things I can put in because I really been to these places, so I can say this, or like on Africa to America, the song I did, I'm talking about scenarios that people go through,
Yeah.
scenarios I've been through or stuff like that. So yeah, definitely, I incorporate those a lot. I did a song called Debe. I filmed it in Africa, the video in Africa, and I'm there and I'm talking about where I'm at and how they playing me in the clubs, and I'm over in Africa and they playing me in clubs, and I'm in the club. They don't know I'm in the club. They're playing my song, and I'm just like sitting there looking like
it's surreal, right?
Yeah. So
You're
yeah,
like,
out of body. Yeah.
like this is me.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, it's me. Right? Showtime. I was just looking at your YouTube, 74K views.
Organic. A lot of people. What I do is eventually I would run like advertisements on YouTube, but for that song I didn't run an advertisement. It was strictly off of just me just interviewing and
Yeah.
and the people who support me. So it's still growing a little bit. I anticipate to hit at least 100,000 by the next couple of weeks there.
Are 256K views from a year ago. Yeah.
Africa to America, a lot of people took a liking to that one, and as well as Tifa Wine. Tifa Wine is another one that a lot of people took a liking to. I think we about 200,000 views. And I just like to I like to do this stuff organically by just putting myself in front of as many people I can. A lot of people in the industry, they try to get the big numbers, but I know I've been around for 12 years plus. I understand how to audit people's accounts and stuff like that and know if they got bots, and I tell a lot of people, don't send no bots to me. You're not going to press me. I know how to audit your account. So those are organic views. And so, but I only compete with myself and just feed the people who support me with, new music, and always try to give them something they can relate to. And, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Just doing what I love to do and stay true to myself while I do it.
Yeah. And you have a mixture of music. You have soca, reggae, and hip hop. You're not into hip hop as much now, though, as you're saying, right?
Yeah, it's more like a smooth. I was doing an interview in Miami, like maybe a month ago, and a guy was like, "You remind me of we call him the Fresh Prince," and I'm like, "Will Smith." Someone was like, "Yeah, it's like Will Smith and LL Cool J had a baby." That was Jamaican.
Well, I mean, it's a bit of a compliment, right? Yeah,
those are legends, and I'm like, I wasn't rapping like that before. I was taking people's heads off earlier on, but now I'm more like smooth. I'm in a good place. I'm hiking every day, and
yeah.
And it's on a different regimen, a different mind state, and that's not the music reflect who I am today. And I like it.
What's been your favorite song to date that you've done?
Oh man, my favorite song. Wow. Book of Rhymes. Book of Rhymes. I actually did that with a Canadian artist, actually from Toronto, named K Rome. He's he's a dope singer, and Book of Rhymes was just kind of like me talking about my life. I talk about how growing up without parents and stuff like that, and making it from like growing up in the city of Detroit and making it through that and becoming who I am.
Yeah.
Through the music, how my music has been my journey to allow me to like become the successful person or keep this perseverance going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so Book of Rhymes is one that made a lot of people cry. A lot of people cry listening to that song because the melodic, the way that K Rome sings on it and the stuff I'm talking about, it's kind of heartfelt. So Book of Rhymes is definitely that one I like.
Okay. Can you give an explanation about the song for those that are listening?
Yeah, so Book of Rhymes is just, it just tells about my journey as rhyme schemes. And it talks about the struggles of it's kind of like a metaphor, struggles of life, but also the struggles in the music, or how you just like put all your blood, sweat, and tears inside your book of rhymes. And a lot of people don't, people get the finished product, but they don't know how you got to this product or why you even talking about this.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why, I put out the Book of Rhymes, just to be earlier on as an artist. I had an idea of what I thought what artists were supposed to be. So I was just rapping what I thought was cool. But then once I crossed the threshold of who I was, I started pouring out my heart and just talking about real life
Yeah.
throughout my music. I start telling people who I am, and I'm a lay it on the line. I'm gonna say whatever I want to say, and it's like it's liberating.
Mm-hmm.
Opposed to just trying to be cool, this cool guy,
Yeah.
and that's I think that's what a lot of people start off at, these cool guys.
They
That's
do.
why I like artists like Drake or Kanye West, because Drake can tell you some stuff that's going on in real time. He'll tell you
Oh,
about a
yeah.
girl he's taking.
You don't even have to turn on TV. You can just listen to the radio and then just listen to his latest song, and you're like, oh, okay. Then you're caught up on everything, right?
Dating CC. Okay, that's CC did that. Like,
Okay, all right, I got you. Okay. But that's the thing about being an artist, and I think so many, especially male artists, have a hard time being vulnerable about their music and just being like, hey, I'm gonna put my heart on my sleeve and I'm gonna, tell it like it is, and just say like, this has been the hardest part in my life. This is what led me to here, because they just don't want to let people in. They don't want to have that vulnerability with everyone, which to me, I've seen, like you said, I've seen both ends of the spectrum. And honestly, those that have opened completely up and have been more vulnerable have made the most incredible music ever, because it's more relatable to everyone. Because they're like, I've been through that situation, or I've been there and I know exactly how he feels. Whereas if you're just like throwing things out there just to rhyme,
yeah,
you're not going to get very far, right? So
yeah.
that's,
We're gonna connect with the
if this
audience.
is catchy, maybe it'll be like one hit wonder, maybe, and then that's it. Or your music is only going to last for a year, right? And
Yeah.
so going into the industry, you want to be long lasting and you want to be able to have, I think, just the variety. I wouldn't say you'd have to be vulnerable with every single song, but I would think like you need some really deep music out there for people to relate to indefinitely, especially over the past couple years. What has been what's been the hardest thing over the past couple years making music?
The hardest thing has, well, it's I would call it the rise and the fall, or backwards, the fall and the rise. I was switching around
Yeah.
because COVID hit, and I was able to gain a lot of traction during COVID. I understood as a person that a lot of people are going to be tuned into the internet. They can't go outside. They tune into their phones, social media.
Yeah.
So I put a song out called Paradise, and Paradise connected with a lot of people. I actually got a plaque recently from RIAA for like 2 million streams for Paradise. So I'm definitely gonna dust my shoulders off on that one. And the thing how I did it was I ran a bunch of contests. I did remix contests. I had artists from all around the world sending me verses in to do a remix to the Paradise song, and then I had people vote for it online, and fans got engaged. And then we gave the guy who won. He was actually from Canada, from Toronto.
Hi.
His name is Warzone, and he actually won the Paradise Remix contest. So he got a distribution deal through my company, which is through Empire, and as well he got a cash prize for winning the contest, Paradise. So I did that. I made dance videos. I had dance contests. Another guy from Tanzania ended up winning that. Sammy Teo, he won actually like the contest for it. So he did the best dance, very creative. And so I was able to get that song so much traction.
Yeah.
I couldn't film a video for it because the singer who was on it, Shady Blue, she actually lived in UK. I couldn't get the UK to film the video. And eventually I ended up doing a video by myself like 2 years later down in Miami.
Do you think you'll do it now? Do you think you'll maybe do a remix or something of it?
We're in the talks about it. I talked to her recently. I said, hey, I'm going to come over to the UK. We can do this video. And she's like, well, I'm super busy right now. This. All right, well, when you let me know, I can make it over to UK and film the video. But once I got that success from Paradise, everything was going on an upcline. I was ready to like travel and try to do much as I can within the restrictions. And I caught COVID really bad.
Oh, no.
Like really, really bad. So it was kind of like I was rising, and then it kind of like I fell. So I was down for like about a month. I'm a guy who hikes every other day. I'm running. I eat healthy salads. I wear a mask. Super regimented. And I caught. I'm like, how did I catch COVID? Like I'm not around anyone. I'm following the rules.
Yeah.
I even came over. Before I caught COVID, I came over to Montreal and I came over to Montreal. I couldn't even leave. The restriction was so bad. Health Canada was like calling me every day, like, "Are you here?" Like, so I left. I didn't want to quarantine for 2 weeks. I had to leave in Montreal because I couldn't leave the house. And
Yeah.
so I caught COVID last May, about this time last May, caught COVID, and it put me down. And so I realized from that point that, once I survived that near death experience, I realized like I need to do things at 1,000%. More like, so I'm more focused on physical fitness a lot more than I was before. Mental health and not taking things for granted. And I made the song Showtime. This is like post COVID, and I really put a lot of effort into that, and a lot of effort into the music, and the video, and it's just I wanted to present something different, a version of me who won, who beat Kermit. Well, not Kermit. Call it Kermit. COVID.
Well, COVID does things to you, so
I got the COVID brain now. I can't even pronounce his name right.
It happens.
So yeah,
that's how sick you were. Can't even think anymore.
I know, right?
So, but you were how long were you in the military for?
6 years.
6 years. So do you take that training now, like the physical part, and try and get back into that a bit? Or what have you been kind of doing to raise your stamina up from that?
Oh, I'm vicious. Before I caught COVID, I was like, running through the mountains like 5 miles. We hike a lot here in California. So I was running through the mountains 5 miles. But now it's like, it's crazy. Now it's like I go like 8 miles.
Yeah.
And I'm running up these hills and doing like 5-minute miles. And I think I'm in better shape now at my age than I was actually when I was in the military. Like,
well, that's
cool.
good.
Yeah.
I'm actually in like a Hike LA group on Facebook.
Oh, nice. So you gotta come out.
I'll send you the link if you could.
Yeah. Because like, I'm crazy, man. Like 5-minute miles. I'm like ridiculous. Like I'm sometimes like, damn, I need to slow down. Like,
yeah. So you'll have to make a song about that now, like kind of take all these experiences and put it into something now. I think it'll be interesting to see. Okay, let's talk about coming. Okay, are you touring before you come here, or you're just coming for the event?
So right now I got a couple shows planned right now in June and July. A lot of my local events here in California, like Afrobeat events. So I have one at the end of this month, and I have a couple in June, and then I have the event in Calgary. It's actually it's called Puff Puff Pass Tour. It's like so it's a cannabis event from July 15th through the 17th. And so I'm definitely excited about, coming back to Canada, coming to Calgary. I've been to Calgary like since 2012. So I'm just excited, I want to get my ketchup chips if I can. I don't know if you guys still have flakies over there. Like that might be an Ontario thing.
I don't know flakies, but the old Dutch ketchup chips are
the bomb. Yeah. And my Tim Hortons coffee, I got to order my Tim Hortons off of Amazon, like when I get there, I'm a Tim Hortons myself to death.
We'll get you an IV bag full of your favorite Tim Hortons. I like literally have like Tim Hortons coffee in my fridge like all the time, and then because of inflation, it's actually gone up. So I just went to like Walmart the other day and I bought like this huge box of just like French vanilla cappuccino I can make at home.
Yeah.
Timmy's is Timmy's, right? Like you gotta have it. So
I got a whole can in there right now, like that I ordered from Amazon. I'm like every morning I'm like, Tim Hortons. Like, where you get this coffee from? I ordered it.
You'll have to write like a song about your Canadian experiences if you haven't already.
Oh yeah, I need to. Yeah, I spent a lot of time in Canada, especially my earlier years. Spent more in Ontario.
Yeah.
I have a grandparent that actually lives in Toronto still. One of my grandparents. So I definitely spent a lot of time in Canada, and called it my second home. So definitely a lot of friends, a lot of family, a lot of loved ones. So I love being back over there.
That's good. Does everyone support your music too? Have they kind of jumped into what you're doing?
You know what? Yes. Like now, like my grandmother's like one of my biggest fans. She's like, she tell me stuff about me. She's like, you did this. And I was like, how you see this? She's like, you did this, you did that. And I saw you and you was walking down the street in Africa. And I'm like, lady, you're like 85 years old. How do
Right.
you know all this stuff? Then she sent me a text message, LOL. I'm like, LOL. I'm like you 85. How you know LOL? She's on it. She shows all my music to her friends and stuff like that. And yeah, so my grandmother's definitely one of the biggest supporters. My family definitely likes the
Yeah.
stuff I'm doing. My daughter, like I have a daughter, and my daughter is like she's with me all the time, and she's with me when I'm writing the music. So she knows the music before anyone else knows it.
Yeah.
She's like
Can
right
I
next.
ask how old is she?
She's 7.
7.
Yeah. Yeah, she's 7. So she's with me when I'm writing the music. She knows every single line of everything. Like, cause she's like hearing me recite it and practice it before I go to the studio.
Yeah.
And she's like, so I play it and she knows it. Like she knows everything that I listen to. So it's funny. It's like, I'm not trying to make you a musician, but
Has she contributed to your music? Like, has she given you any ideas, or has she given any rhymes? Has she?
she's an inspiration. You know what's funny? Because I have 2 daughters actually. And my one daughter is getting ready to graduate university. I know I don't look like I should have a daughter at university, but she's getting ready to graduate university. She's in the state. She's in the state of Alabama.
Okay.
And so it's just so funny. Like I had that experience, and then a million years later, I have this other kid, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? So it's a different process right now. It's like now I understand what being a father is. I'm in it, and like then I was just winging it. Now I know what to do.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's,
different
it's
generations too, right? Like that gap. It's different generations. Like there's a huge difference between college age to the young ones now, like how much they know and what's changed in between those years. Like it's
yeah.
all different, like a million lifetimes between.
Yes, I'm talking to an adult on one end that's calling me about finances all the time, and I'm talking to a little one who just wants to get McDonald's. So, and then I'm like, but it is my inspiration because I felt like when my daughter was born, you know,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I got a rebirth. I feel like I was reborn. It was. I don't want to sound corny. Well, I'm sound corny. I'll sound corny for my kid,
Be as
but
corny as you want.
yeah, yeah. But
That's
it was,
nice because it's you, right? It's they're part of your world, they're part of your music in some type of an aspect. And so it's important to be able to be proud of who you are and be proud of your children because they make you, right?
yeah. I don't know what it was. It was like something about this time around. It was just like, oh man, like I love this. This is fun. Like I got another human he looks like me and is right next to me and you know,
Yeah.
it's just so fun. Like, so I get separation when I go on tour. I leave the country. I go on I get separation anxiety for my kid and stuff like that. I be like, oh, I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave. But they're paying you $10,000. I don't want to leave.
Well, like FaceTime, right?
Yeah,
There's all
yeah.
the technology, which is so great. So,
Yeah. So that's the tough part. It's like so hard. I'd be like, oh, like I just came back from Mexico not too long ago. Like I think about a month ago, I came back from Mexico, and I was just like constantly calling my kid, like, hey, what you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And it's like, I'm supposed to be over here enjoying myself in Mexico doing this media tour. And it's like, no, it's
yeah.
like, so.
And she's like, Dad, can you stop calling me?
Yeah, I'll try to play Fortnite.
I can't be on here. Dad, get off my screen. Actually, no. Now what's great is though, like, because iPhones, if you have an iPhone, they're great because then you can FaceTime and play your games at once. So she wouldn't be missing out.
Yeah, so that's cool. That's kind of like the most important. I say like that's one of the most important things I accomplished. I would say, having kids. I think that's the most important thing I accomplished. I went to university. I got like 2 master degrees. Like I traveled the world, but like, it's nothing like being a dad. Like besides all this music stuff, you can do platinum album. I think just being a dad is like the most. I guess that's my greatest reward.
Yeah.
It's like sure.
That's amazing. That is amazing. I'm glad. I'm glad that you're able to embrace it all and just bring it all in and just enjoy the moments because they grow up way too fast and then before we know it, they're gonna have children of their own, and then
Woo!
you
Not
don't know
yet.
what you think about those days, but
Yeah.
it creeps up on you. So um we'll wrap up soon, but I want to see if you'll do a little freestyle for us, a little something.
Yeah. I mean, what we
Just-
go so this how we gonna do it. This how we gonna do it. I'm gonna make it fun.
Okay.
Every word that you say, I'm gonna do a rhyme to it to show you that I'm actually really freestyling.
I don't even know. I want to say Tim Hortons.
Tim Hortons, I like to drink it every day. I don't play. I'm looking for my flaky cakes, trying to go to Canada next to the Maple Leaf, connected with Kari, baby on this TV, StreamYard all day long with your boy Jess FM. .ca. We don't do it every day. I'm Liberty Deservation, coming with captivating every time that I spit in this freestyle. This never waiting for my next word from Kari all day. Me vaya por la casa, tú siempre we don't play. Me voy a casa contigo, te estás rapeando, improvisando, tú sabes lo cosa que está capando, yeah. And then I flip it back to English because it's real. Verbalizing on this track because I got mad skills. I can rap without a curse word, but I speak profanity all day long. You know, my whole flow is manly every time I spit it from the California IA. Rapping on my shirt. You shorter than a mini skirt. Every time I make it work, I make it hurt like surgery. The urgency every time they get to me, but I'm still swerving, see through the traffic. That's evasion to captivating every time I spit it. Everything on my boots relation like a soldier in war, trying to spit it hardcore. I rap it like this. What the reason we do it for? that
Hey,
was a freestyle. I was just making up stuff.
there you have it, right here live. It's not often people can just do that. It is. It's really hard, and I, appreciate it. That's so cool.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Okay,
That
so
was
we'll
fun.
wrap up. What's that?
That was fun.
It is fun. I love having guests on my shows, and it's just like I want everyone to be themselves, and I just want to be like, okay, let's just have it out and have some fun and just kind of play around with it because it's too often we're so formal on things and this and that, and it's like nah, I'm done with those.
Thank
Come
you.
over and have some fun. That's what it's about, right? So I appreciate you coming on this evening. It has been such a pleasure and such a delight. Before you go, usual, where everyone can find you, the spiel,
Yeah, definitely
the
follow me
elevator pitch, if you will.
everywhere. I can do it in English or Spanish. Me puede encontrar aquí en Remy Scheme. I'll just play it. I'll do it in English. Rhyme Schemes, REIMESCHEMES. That's on all platforms. I definitely have my website, Rhyme Schemes Biz. You can get all my information, as far as like music, you get that first on the website, tour information, giveaways. I got the merchandise, rhymeschemesbiz.com, and definitely check me out, and it's not all about music. You see on the interview, we talked about everything. So
Yeah.
you want to hit up Rhyme Schemes about the latest politics in Ukraine, hit me up. You want to talk about what's going on in the Republic of Georgia, hit me up. I mean, I can be a little bit of a nerd. So definitely. So yeah, much love to everybody tuning in, man. Much love to you for having me on here. Much love to Jess FM, man. This is super fun.
You're very welcome. I would love to have you back. Actually, I would love to have you back on my other show, Culture Connection, because it's really fun. I have my other hosts with me, and then we do like I said, we'll do virtual concerts and things like that. So I think we'll have you back in a little bit because that'll be really fun. And then I'll look forward to you coming up here in July.
Yes.
In July. Keep me posted on that. And then what I'll do is if you want me to share it up, I can share it up as well. And then we can kind of play around with that as well. So you have a little bit more promotion for that as well.
Definitely. Merci beaucoup.
Well, thank you again, everyone, for tuning in this evening. You guys are amazing. And please make sure you guys do tune in on Tuesday evening for the Culture Connection with myself and Big Well Rhyme Schemes. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're amazing. And everyone that tunes into Jess FM, Jess TV. You guys are so cool. So amazing. We'll be back for more next Tuesday. And then, of course, Connected with Carrie will be back next Saturday evening as well. Have a great week, everyone. Thank you again so very much for tuning in. We'll see you soon.